hold on.
Yeah,
Start whenever you want.
Start. Okay, so we watched a video about loving neighbors and abortions and stuff. And so it was a Puerto Rican lady that was talking about her experience with abortion and pregnancy and stuff, and she talked a lot about like family pregnancies and about like abortion, like how there was birth control brought in, I think she said 1970s, and then she talked about how 50% of Puerto Ricans have C-sections every year.
She also talked about how the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and after that, a flurry of trigger laws in various states across the nation have been enacted to severely limit abortions. And what's at stake is our ability to practice love of a neighbor in moments and spaces where we feel most fractured as a country. So there was some questions that I could ask. How do we practice love of a neighbor in divided times?
I feel like respect plays a big role in this. I feel like you respect your, like, whatever relationship you have with the person's, like, others' beliefs. I feel like even if we bring up, like, abortion, like, there's many different opinions on abortion, but, like, instead of, like, getting into an argument about it, like, just, like, respect their opinions. Like, you cannot have the same opinion as someone, but, like, it's really not that deep. So, yeah, I feel like just respect plays a big role into that.
Well, I feel like it is that deep to some people.
I mean, yeah, it could be that deep.
But
I
it's
feel like
still
you don't need
important to
like,
have respect.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel super, super strongly about this topic, but also, like, have respect, because at the end of the day, like, the law is the law, and, like, someone else having a different opinion or you having a different opinion, like, there's no sense of fighting about it if no one's gonna change their mind.
Right, I feel like nowadays people are very, like, one-sided, like, it's my opinion or, like, nothing else, which I think this is why, like, we become so divided. But I feel like as long as you're opening to listen to people, I mean, you don't have to change your mind, but just listen to them, I feel like we could come together more.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you also don't know someone else's side, what they're going through, why they might be having an abortion, because it's not always they want to, like, maliciously, like, kill a child. Sometimes they can't afford to provide for that child, and in the long run, that's gonna end up, you know, being worse for the kid.
Yeah.
Like, not, and over time, I feel like this is a topic that, like, turned to become so political when realistically it has nothing to do with politics, and I think that people are just quick to judge.
Yeah, like, I see both sides of it. Like, if some people think that, like, you shouldn't be killing an unborn child, like, I understand that, but like Bella said, like, people could, like, I mean, some people, like, not to get, like, deep about it, but, like, some people, like, have been sexually assaulted and stuff and, like, end up pregnant from it, or, like, some people are into drugs and stuff and they can't physically, like, have a baby because it, like, I mean, the baby would be, like, immune to all the drugs and everything. So it's a better decision not to have a child at that point.
Yeah, I believe that, like, killing an unborn baby is obviously wrong, cause, like, but I feel like there's certain circumstances where it's like it's probably the better thing to do at that point, even though I don't think it's the right thing to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we all sort of have a similar idea with it, because, like, personally, I don't agree with abortion, but again, there's other factors that go into it that not everyone knows, so you can't just judge a person based on, like, the decisions they make.
I agree with that. And, like, I don't, like, I wouldn't get an abortion, but, like, there are people that, like, who...
It's either, like, their life at risk or, like...
Yeah.
Right.
And there are people that, like, go at people for getting an abortion and, like, say they can't, like, afford a child or, like, things like that. Like, I would never attack someone because, like, I feel like that's where it, like, really draws the line.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, that people want the laws changed, that, like, abortion should be illegal, but once you make it illegal, the people who, like, physically, mentally can't have a child, they're not gonna have those resources, and, like, it would make it so that, like, people who have medical reasons can't have an abortion. Like, if the baby is, like, I think it's what, an ectopic pregnancy, pregnancy, where it's not growing in the, like,
Mhm.
the womb.
And they have to
uterus.
have a miscarriage.
Yeah, and they can't because of the laws, like, I think that that's why the laws are in place, is so that it protects people like that.
Yeah, I agree. And also I feel like in the beginning stages of pregnancy, usually you catch it like the first like 3 weeks. It's only a cluster of cells at that point. I think so many people think about it as a baby, but a baby doesn't form until around that first trimester.
Right, I think there's a difference between like when you decide you wanna have an abortion.
Yeah, definitely.
Like people that decide like after the fact that it may be too late, I feel like it gets to a point where like that's sort of unacceptable, but I feel like you're just gotta be smart about certain decisions.
Right, I feel like some people though, and like have started to like I don't know how to say it, but like they take abortions for like, I don't know, they'll mess around or whatever, and then they'll use abortion to fix their mistakes,
Right.
which is like the wrong
And that's
thing. Like,
unacceptable.
no, I think it's like ridiculous. That's why like they try to make, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I think like
We
in
can
those,
see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I think in those cases it's unacceptable, especially when it's too late, because you are, I've like learned about this, like ripping the baby out by like its limbs,
Yeah.
and like that
It's disgusting.
it shouldn't be allowed, acceptable, if you're being stupid and like you know what you're doing,
Right.
and like those are your consequences. Like if a baby is almost full term, you should not be taking its life, like ripping it out of you.
Yeah, like having a baby is supposed to be such a beautiful thing, you know, and we made it, so it's like, I don't know, I feel like you should really cherish having a baby, not trying to kill the babies that you made.
I mean, if you're having a child, like, and it's at full term and you don't want it anymore, there's always adoption. Like, you can always put the baby up for adoption. They have, like, the safe boxes at fire departments that, like, you could drop your baby off and you have no ties to
Oh
it.
my gosh.
No, you put it in,
didn't know
it's
that.
a safety box, and they put the baby in it, and then, like,
Just
you
the
close
baby?
the doors, and it leads to the fire department, and then they have people that come and
Yeah.
they take the baby to the hospital and they get
It's
checked
like a
out.
laundry chute, you just drop it.
No, it's like a door, and you put
Never
the
heard
baby
of
in,
that.
and
Yeah,
it
you
has
can
like
fit
a
in a
box, but it's like
You guys got
a,
TikTok?
it's like a comfortable thing. It was on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, but like, there's other options, and like, once they close the door, like the mom has, like, can't go back and get the baby, cause like you already give it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty
There's
legit.
other options than killing it.
Especially if it's at like full term, like
Yeah.
you kind of like could have decided a little
Yeah.
earlier on.
Yeah.
But like to like you can just like adopt, like put it for adoption.
Yeah.
Or drop it off at the fire department.
Or dropped off the fire.
Yeah, it's definitely easier said than done.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
feel like a lot of people could like act irrationally and then like maybe even regret their decision like once they decide to have an abortion. But again, just because like one person may not agree with it doesn't mean you should take out like your anger or rage on someone else because you don't agree with what they did.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions from it?
It's kind of similar to the last one. What is required of us as peacemakers and builders of the common good?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that kind of goes along with the concept, like, you have to understand each other. It doesn't necessarily mean everyone's, like, has to be right. Like, you can understand right and wrong and still, like, value your own morals. But you have to be able to provide that respect for others.
And I also think it's situational.
Yeah.
Like, certain people might have been in a situation where a loved one or even them, like, had been, like,
Been through it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
have been closer to abortion than one of us, or
Right.
like, so I feel like it's
Like
still
once you experience it like firsthand, you see it firsthand, I feel like it's like maybe your opinions will like change.
different, yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna say something about something, like, you have to realize that you don't know who's in the room. Like, someone could have been through it and you're like, oh, that's so wrong, like,
Yeah.
that's criminal, but like, you never know what someone's been through, so like,
Yeah.
you can voice your opinion, but just realize it could be hurting somebody else.
Yeah, I feel like it's our responsibility to be aware of like what we bring to the table, I guess, especially like there's a time and place for everything, like we talk about in class.
Agreed.
Any last points?
Yeah, I think respecting each other is important. That's how we keep the common good.
Common.
Yeah.
Like agreeing to disagree.
Yeah, we all have our differences. We
Like
just
in
gotta
class.
accept them.
We
class,
just can't
we
like
all-
go at each other because we disagree.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all very respectful in this class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I love this class.
I hope your heads.
That's
for-
where
Your
your
hearts are
full.
full.